Hi Gemini, here is a general look at your solar chart for August 2016, and I'm still looking at the Saturn and Neptune theme here, so a little bit about that for you. And I will say that you've got this long-term transit of Saturn in your opposite sign. Wherever Saturn goes, we need to sit up and take notice and do some work. So you're having to take on more responsibility and more pressure because of close personal relationships or business type relationships. And you have to work harder at balancing your point of view with theirs, and you have to compromise more. And at the moment we have Saturn and Neptune together, and I spoke about this for the stars that came out in July. Well, they should have come out in June. That brings uncertainty into this area. So you may be questioning your purpose and your identity in the world and what you're here for. You may be questioning establishment figures. You may be questioning the status quo, whether that's parents, teachers, or a government. You could feel so defined by what you're doing or what you believe that your ego is stopping you from changing something which emphasizes the more selfless service side of life, putting desires on one side, putting maybe ego-orientated fears on one side. It's a big ask, actually, where Neptune is at certain times. But on the other hand, it's about service. And you, at this time, could be feeling disillusioned with how the powers that be are more concerned with their own interests than being a support to those they claim to serve. You could be feeling like that. On the other hand, you yourself may be having to juggle a choice between being more concerned with your own interest other than those you would like to serve. Or you may be thinking, okay, how can I best be responsible here and take my responsibilities seriously and serve in a way which is most effective and with the best outcome, but of course remaining true to your own identity as much as you can. Just to mention of that. And also we have other things going on. So we have Mars changing this month. From the 3rd, Mars goes into your opposite sign as well, and actually between the 21st and the 26th isn't a great time to schedule anything, maybe because you could feel a lot more pressure on you there, a lot more on your shoulders. And it depends on who you are and where you're coming from, because basically one size does not fit all in astrology. So for some of you, you could flourish under that pressure, under that feeling of challenging conditions, and others of you would do better, you know, when you're on the other side, outside of that. So we have that between the 21st and the 26th, a bit of a go slow there. And also, just whilst I'm on the subject, on the 5th and the 6th and the 12th and the 13th, when Saturn goes over Mercury and Venus respectively. Now Mars coming back into your opposite sign for about 6 weeks, meaning that because of another situation or another's requirements, whatever it is, there could be more physical demands put upon you to be decisive, dynamic, or lively, alert, launching into things. It could be that, like that, just a need to take action for some reason or another because of what's going on with an opposite number in business or in your personal life. That can be you and someone could elicit strong opinions in each other. There could be a crossing of swords. This is always the way it goes with Mars, and you need to thrash things out between you. Once again, patience may be needed, as Mars can make you too hasty or handle something or someone badly, and you need to try and keep things on an even keel, keep level-headed, and you'll be fine. So, Mars there can mean that you and someone teaming up together can be a real dynamic duo, or maybe a real tight-knit little group of close, you know, feeling close with others, or maybe a series of single teams, if you see what I mean. Single duos, like because you are such a dualistic sign, so maybe you've got one little duo going on there and another for this purpose and another for that purpose. That is a little bit how you would like to do it. In my experience, Geminis do like a flourish when their fingers are in more than one pie at the same time. Okay, so now as the month begins, we have the sun in a very sociable, busy kind of mood, meeting, greeting, connecting over the wires, maybe corresponding, and more on your mind, likely. Also, the mental focus could be revolving around property, family, extended family, neighbors, that type of thing. Correspondence and discussions could be about physical space, inside, outside, or points on the map. I mean, many Geminians will have a good knowledge of yeah, navigation, connections here, there, and everywhere. And you could be mulling things over, though. You could be really, really sort of like ruminating, mulling things over. And you could be considering the past, a legacy, a tradition. It's easier for others to touch a nerve with you now. And either way, it tends to be a mentally busy or socially active time. Maybe people coming more into your orbit or your space, or maybe you going more into theirs. However, you can you can be again very lots of talk about a home space, a point on the map, family, a property. There can be lots of thinking and talking about these types of things. Venus is in a very sociable sector as the month kicks off, but then she moves on the 6th. So up until the 6th, she helps you to be persuasive, articulate, get people on side, maybe, you know, pour oil on troubled waters. It means that you could have more access to entertaining activities, the arts, media, anything artistic going on there, and also brothers and sisters or soul brothers and sisters. And like I say, you can be persuasive. And then Venus moves out of there and she shines a very friendly light into the root of your chart, manifesting in various ways, but it could mean that once again a more harmonious, settled time within. Also regarding property, regarding family, regarding points on the map, regarding maybe the neighborhood, a community, that kind of thing, and also embellishing a space, maybe inside or outside. But it's good for property matters, whatever's going on there, or even relocation. You do actually have a long transit of Jupiter at the root of your chart, so that bodes well there for these things that I've just listed. From the 23rd as well, the sun goes into that area there, centering your attention around a base of operations or a property or family matters or something going on in the neighborhood. But also, again, this sensitivity still going on. Do listen to your instincts. I should just mention as well that Mercury will be going retrograde from the very end of the month, the last couple of days of the month. So more on that next month. Okay, so we do have Jupiter, as I said, at the root of your chart until September, which is pretty close now. And this transit has helped you to feel more settled emotionally, maybe in your home space, or it might not have meant that. Hopefully it did, but it might have just meant that you were enlarging, expanding your home space in some sort of way, or maybe your home space has got to somehow or other accommodate more in it because there's just more going on, or there might be more bodies in it, or whatever it is. But again, this sense of belonging and inner equilibrium is more likely with Jupiter going through there, especially, I have to say, after the 6th when Venus comes in there as well. Outwardly, family and community relationships could improve. And some of you will extend or make additions to a base of operations, or you could be traveling more. That's always part of that kind of comes on comes under the possibilities of Jupiter going through here, and you feeling more connected in with a community which is very unlike the one you've been used to as well. For some, there'll be a newcomer in the family, or maybe you're accommodating others more. And whatever the reasons, newcomer or newcomers, of course, whatever the reasons behind this, this is a good time to make changes at home. You Geminians born from the 11th to the 20th of June, or with 21 to 29 degrees rise, you're going to feel that on your sun. But of course, you might have a planet or important point earlier or later, or I mean, which on those degrees or near those degrees, but it can be a bit earlier or later. Also, I don't think I told you the one about Saturn, which is you Geminians born the 29th of May to the 1st of June, with 9 to 11 degrees rising. You're going to feel that energy the most there of Saturn. And very likely the Saturn-Neptune thing as well. During the long transit of Neptune through your career area, remember to respect and honor your own goals in life, your own feelings, I suppose, and try to integrate the practice of higher service as often as you are able into what you prefer to do. But I have to say that if you were just running on ego, if you're just running on the way it used to be, where maybe this is what you say to yourself, where if you shouted loudest or pushed hardest, you got to the top. Now it has changed, and this Neptunian energy means that if you are providing something and being responsible in your provision of something which is truly, genuinely supportive and facilitating, then this is meeting the criterion of Neptune there. This transit favors imaginative art, good causes, healing, spirituality, or the catering industry, hospitality industry. I mean, loads and loads of things. In fact, I would say it probably favors everything, but if you do it in a service-orientated way where you're not trying to push your own issues or your own agendas to get, to the top of the tree or whatever, or to protect your own interests. This is really a selfless energy in there. So obviously you have to tread the fine line of not becoming a martyr, but at the same time as providing as much as you can of that facilitating energy to others. You Geminians born the 29th of May to the 2nd of June, with 9 to 12 degrees rising, going to feel the energy most this month, and that's it for August. If you know your rising sign, your moon sign, listen to those. And also I'm really hoping that this copy will be up on my website, DianaGarland.com. I think there's been some glitches with that recently. I will see you the next time.